From wings of fire to burning warriors, this is what it means to rule the battlefield. In every era of human history, the battlefield has been the stage where power, glory, and honor are won or lost. From the ancient warriors wielding swords and shields to modern forces commanding advanced technology and air power, the essence of ruling the battlefield has remained the same: dominance, strategy, and an unbreakable spirit. But what does it truly mean to rule the battlefield? It's not just about having the best weapons or the largest army. It's about transforming from a soldier into a burning warrior, someone whose fire for victory turns the tide of conflict and shapes the course of history. The phrase, "from wings of fire to burning warriors," captures the essence of this transformation. The wings of fire represent the ascent from ordinary combat to a higher but more potent form of warfare. It's the ignition of a warrior's inner strength, fueled by passion, purpose, and an unrelenting will to succeed. The burning warriors are those who have risen from the flames, their spirits unquenchable and their resolve unmatched. 1. Wings of fire, the ascent to power. Ruling the battlefield starts with the wings of fire, the growth from an ordinary fighter into a force of nature. This fire represents more than just physical might. It is a metaphor for the mental and emotional strength required to lead and dominate in times of war. History's greatest leaders, from Alexander the Great to Napoleon Bonaparte, all had their wings of fire moments, where their vision and courage lifted them above the rest and gave them the edge they needed to reshape the world. The birth of strategy. True leadership on the battlefield doesn't begin with brute strength. It starts with strategy. As the saying goes, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting, a lesson taught by Sun Tzu in his legendary work, The Art of War. The wings of fire are often ignited when a leader realizes that ruling the battlefield is as much about outthinking the enemy as it is about outfighting them. Great commanders possess the ability to see the battlefield as a chessboard, thinking several moves ahead of their adversaries. They exploit weaknesses, outmaneuver their opponents, and anticipate the unforeseen. They wield not just swords and guns, but tactics and innovation. In the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, Napoleon masterfully deceived his opponents into thinking he was retreating, only to strike at the perfect moment, annihilating 2 Allied armies. This victory wasn't merely a result of superior numbers, it was a product of Napoleon's strategic brilliance, a true demonstration of ruling the battlefield with wings of fire. B. The role of courage and leadership. The fire that fuels a warrior is not limited to clever tactics. It also stems from personal courage and the ability to inspire others. Leaders on the battlefield must demonstrate bravery not just through action, but through presence. The sight of a commander leading the charge, sword in hand, can inspire an army to fight harder and believe that victory is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. One of the most famous instances of this occurred during the Battle of Agincourt in 1415, when King Henry IV of England, vastly outnumbered by the French, stood shoulder to shoulder with his troops and gave the rousing St. Crispin's Day speech. As immortalized in Shakespeare's play Henry V, his words of unity and shared glory became the wings of fire that propelled the English soldiers into battle, where they achieved one of the most stunning victories in military history. 2. Burning warriors, the unstoppable force. As warriors ascend from the wings of fire, they become something more: burning warriors. These are not just soldiers, they are living embodiments of the fire of battle, unstoppable and unwavering. A burning warrior does not simply participate in war, they define it. They rule the battlefield by sheer force of will, resilience, and their capacity to inspire fear and awe in both allies and enemies alike. A. Transformation through hardship. To become a burning warrior, one must endure trial by fire. This transformation is often born in the crucible of hardship and adversity. Warriors are not born, they are forged in the heat of battle through relentless challenges and the willingness to push beyond the limits of ordinary endurance. Take, for example, the Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BC. Facing the vast Persian army, King Leonidas and his 300 warriors stood their ground, fighting to the last man. Though they were ultimately overwhelmed, their bravery and sacrifice became the embodiment of what it means to be a burning warrior. They knew they were outnumbered. They knew they would die. But they fought not for survival, but for glory and honor. In doing so, they ruled the battlefield in spirit, etching their names into history as the ultimate burning warriors. B. The Warrior's Code. Burning warriors often follow a code of honor that transcends the battlefield. For the samurai of feudal Japan, this code was Bushido, the way of the warrior. Bushido emphasized loyalty, honor, and discipline, guiding the samurai to fight with unwavering focus and dignity, even in the face of certain death. A burning warrior doesn't just fight to win, they fight to uphold the values they hold sacred. This gives them a strength that cannot be extinguished by mere defeat or death. The legendary Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest swordsman, embodied the Bushido spirit. He was undefeated in over 60 duels, ruling the battlefield not just with his sword, but with his mind. Musashi's discipline, calm under pressure, and commitment to his art made him a burning warrior in every sense. His writings, particularly the Book of Five Rings, offer timeless wisdom on how to maintain mastery in both life and battle, showing that the fire of a burning warrior can never truly be extinguished. House 3. Ruling the battlefield, the art of dominance. Ultimately, ruling the battlefield is about mastery of strategy, self, and the environment. Burning warriors know that the key to dominance is not simply defeating the enemy, but controlling the entire theater of war. This requires a combination of adaptability, fearlessness, and the ability to turn the tide of battle in one's favor. A. Commanding the elements. Great warriors and leaders throughout history have understood how to use the elements of the battlefield, terrain, weather, timing, to their advantage. In 218 BC, Hannibal famously led his army, including war elephants, across the Alps to surprise the Romans during the Second Punic War. His mastery of terrain and unconventional tactics allowed him to achieve victories that seemed impossible, proving that ruling the battlefield often means thinking beyond conventional limits. Similarly, in World War II, General George Patton understood the importance of momentum and seizing the initiative. His bold, relentless tactics in the European theater earned him a reputation as one of the most feared and respected commanders of the war. Patton's approach epitomized the concept of ruling the battlefield, as he combined speed, aggression, and intuition to overwhelm his enemies, forcing them into a defensive posture. B. Psychological warfare. Ruling the battlefield is also about winning the psychological battle. A burning warrior knows that fear can be as powerful a weapon as any sword or gun. This was exemplified by the Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan, whose reputation for brutality and swift, overwhelming force often caused enemies to surrender without a fight. By cultivating an aura of invincibility, the Mongols were able to rule vast territories with relatively small forces. The fire of a burning warrior spreads through the minds of their enemies, demoralizing and breaking them before the first shot is fired. For the legacy of burning warriors. Those who rule the battlefield leave behind legacies that transcend their lifetimes. They are remembered not just for their victories, but for the impact they have on the world around them. Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Saladin, and countless others changed the course of history through their actions on the battlefield, and their stories continue to inspire warriors, leaders, and strategists to this day. The wings of fire represent the ascent of a warrior into something greater, while burning warriors embody the unstoppable force that shapes history. To rule the battlefield is to master not just the physical combat, but the mental and emotional aspects of war. It is to understand that true power comes from within, from the fire that drives a person to stand when others fall, to fight when others flee, and to inspire when others doubt. Ruling the battlefield is not merely a matter of winning battles. It is about controlling the destiny of nations, shaping the future, and leaving a mark on the world that can never be erased. Those who can transform from ordinary fighters into burning warriors know this truth. The battlefield is not just a place. It is a crucible where the strongest spirits are forged and where legends are born.